Let's crochet some hats today. Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to my sewing space. I don't know why I keep referring to this space as my sewing space. I mean, I do sew in here. It's where I keep all of my sewing stuff. But I also do other crafts and I crochet. And today is a crochet project. Christmas is coming and I have been working on ribbed beanies for several people. And of course I have to make one for myself. God, it's so hot. Anyway. Hats. Ribbed beanies with pom-pom tops. This yellow one is going to be for me. Let me show you how I made these. I made a size that will fit my head. I think I have an average-ish size head, I think. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily small. I know it's not really big. But then I made one a little bit smaller, and that's for a child, like a school-age child, not a toddler or an infant, an elementary school kid. And then I made one that's just, you can't really tell in the video. This orange one is just a smidge bigger for somebody with a little bit of a larger head. So let me show you how I made my size, and then I'll talk about how you can make them a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller for somebody else. First up, here are the different color yarns that I used. The red is called Cranberry, the orange is called Spice, the yellow is called Buttercup, the green is called Cilantro, and the blue is called Succulent. Here are the supplies for this project. 2 skeins of wool ease yarn, an 8mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a measuring tape, and a yarn needle. First thing we're gonna do is chain 32. Then we are going to half double crochet in the 3rd chain space from the hook. And we're gonna half double crochet all the way across for a total of 30 half double crochets. And here's what the 30 half double crochets look like. Then we're gonna chain 1 and turn. To get a ribbed finish instead of a flat finish, here on out we are only going to be half double crocheting into the back loop of the previous row. And for those who don't know how to half double crochet, so yarn over through the back loop, yarn over, pull back through the loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So we're going to half double crochet in the back loop only all the way to the end of the row. Chain 1, turn, and we're just going to repeat that for 35 rows total. What I like to do after I have crocheted a couple rows is measure. So I got my measuring tape here, and right now the width of this rectangle that I'm trying to crochet is measuring about 13 inches. So anywhere between 12 inches and 14 inches is what I'm going for. If I wanted to make this a little smaller for a child, I would aim for between 9 and 11 inches. And if you wanted it to be bigger for somebody with a larger head, you know, maybe between 13 and 15 inches. Okay, here's what 10 rows looks like. And you see here that it's nice and stretchy both ways. Here I am at 15 rows and I'm still measuring about 12 and a half, 13 inches. So I'm still in the range that I want to be in. Here's 20 rows. 25 rows. At this point, I'm starting to run out of yarn for my first skein. So I just start into my second skein of yarn here and keep on going. Okay, here I am at 35 rows. And again, if you wanted to make this hat for a child, instead of crocheting 35 rows, I only crocheted 31. For the bigger orange hat, I crocheted 37 rows. However many rows you crochet, make sure it's an odd number. And that's just so the ribbing flows nicely when you connect the two ends together. Next, I'm just gonna take a minute to weave in my ends. This is how I weave mine in. So I weave, 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 and then when I get to the end where I'm gonna stop, I like to split my yarn in half, put one half back on the needle, and thread it through one more loop, or one more stitch, and then tie a tight double knot, and then kind of wiggle it around and bury it into my stitching. Next, you want to put the two short ends together and close this seam to make a tube. And you can do this however you want, however you like to join your work. I like to use a slip stitch. When you get to the end, you're going to pull out a loop. You're going to cut your loop so you have a tail about 10 inches long. Next, we're going to thread that long tail onto our yarn needle, and we are going to start weaving in and out along the top edge of our tube, and then we're going to pull on that string to start gathering the tube together. And this is going to be the top of our hat. And you really want to pull on that string and work that hole smaller and smaller until it's as small as you can possibly get it. Now I'm going to put a pom-pom on the top of my hat. If I wasn't, I would take my yarn needle and weave this tail back and forth across the top of this hole to pull this hole even tighter. And at this point, you could just have a little ribbed beanie without a pom-pom. Here's what that would look like. But I want to put a pom-pom on mine. So I'm just taking a couple minutes here to make a pom-pom. And I will link a video on how I like to make my pom-poms. To attach the pom-pom to the hat, I have two long tails that I left on my pom-pom, and I thread one tail onto my yarn needle, and on the outside I take the tail right at the top by the hole and I thread the needle through and pull that tail to the inside of the hat. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Thread my yarn needle with that tail, and then on the other side of the hole push the needle through the top of the hat and to the inside. Pull that tail all the way through, and then I kind of turn the hat inside out, and you can see that I have my two tails now where I tie a really sturdy triple knot, and then you can weave in your ends or cut them, whatever you prefer. And there you go, the pom-poms on top. I'm just gonna take care of this little straggling string that I didn't weave in earlier, and there you go. That is how I made my ribbed beanie hats. Here's what they look like. Okay, and that's it. That's how I made these hats. I'm very happy with how these turned out, and I think that they're gonna make really cute little Christmas presents. They're really warm. It's freezing outside. I think it's like 29 degrees right now where I live. It snowed last night. It's freaking windy, and I was very comfortable. It's a thick hat. I really like this yarn a lot. I think that I'm gonna use it in the future for more projects. You know, maybe make a matching scarf and a pair of mittens. Love this color. Love it. But also love all the other colors that I used. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!